That's a very famous tune called Spanish Romance, also known as Romanza, Spanish ballad. Very well known. It's almost a stereotypical Spanish classical guitar piece. And if you've stumbled on this video on YouTube or somewhere, I just want to make it clear that this is not going to be like a full-length lesson video. Just a little demonstration as a supplement for some of my own private students. So I'm going to go over this a little bit, talk about a few things that we talk about in the lesson, basically just a few little notes. I'll play it through one more time slowly to give you a demonstration, a video. You can see my hands, what I'm doing, and we'll talk a little bit about how it all works before I play it. So a couple of things about this tune. It is basically the same chord progression that you would find in an E blues. It's E minor to A minor to B. B7, I should say. So, how does this all work in terms of these complicated finger picking patterns and all of that? How do you know that's an E chord? That, it doesn't look like an E chord or a C chord to me. I'll show you how that works, and it should help you to play the piece and to remember it as well. So, we start out on an E minor chord. It's all open strings. On the top, we put the melody note. The melody note always is played on the first string. Okay? A fairly regular finger picking pattern. A, M, I. We play the thumb on the downbeat, like so. A, M, I, A, M, I, A, M, I. Okay? The melody. Still on that E minor, okay? How do you finger this and manage the shifts up and down the neck? The addition that you have from my lessons anyway should be a pretty well fingered addition. I'm not going to get into all the fingering here. Follow the fingering on your music. All right, so let's continue on and see what happens when we get to the next chord, which is A minor, okay? So here's our E chord, E minor chord. Everything's open except this one melody note. How does that work as an A minor chord? If you don't know, think about your A minor bar chord. You make a full A minor bar chord here, right? If you just take those first top treble 3 strings of that bar chord shape, it makes a nice little perfectly serviceable A minor triad, A minor chord. Put an A in the bass, there's your A minor. Used all the time in classical guitar fingerstyle music. And then when you do that, you've got your other fingers free to add the extra melody notes. So we start up here with the C natural. That's all it is. Let's do it from the top again. Here we go. A minor. Now we go to the B7. I'll show you how that works. Same idea. This whole song is the same idea. You have a chord, usually a solidly built chord shape. You're playing an arpeggio pattern on it. The highest note in the melody in the arpeggio becomes the melody note. That note will change, so you will take the chord, add extra fingers to that chord to play those melody notes, always on the first string. So that's the basic form, the basic idea of the piece. Now, up to this point, it's been fairly simple. Now, this B chord is going to be a little more difficult to negotiate. So we're coming from the A chord, A minor. Now, first, let's take a look at this. This is supposed to be a B chord or a B7 chord. Here's your full bar chord. But we're not playing all these, right? So all we're doing is the bar, and then we are putting in the D sharp here. And a fingerstyle guitar player knows that you don't need to do all of that to get a 7 chord. Just this shape, perfectly good as a 7 chord. So that's the shape we're using. Then we have these 2 fingers free to add those extra melody notes. Bit of a stretch. So let's go again from the A minor to the B chord. Here we go. Stretch, and back to E minor. Now a more familiar B7 shape. You might also recognize it like this, a blues B7 chord. You could finger it this way too if you wanted to. In your edition, it's fingered this way. Very end, that is also an E minor chord. What you're doing is you're making an arpeggio out of the bass line. You play E, B, G, E. Those are all the individual notes in the E minor chord. So your little fancy thing at the end there, you play the E minor arpeggio in the bass. Okay, that's basically it. Let me play it through one more time from the beginning. Part 1 only. A minor, B, stretch, back to E minor, B7, E minor. Hope that helps.